Me and my Latina bitch was supposed to go to a gathering one of her homegirls was having at the Yard House in Long Beach on a Friday night. I had a lot of bullshit happen to me out the blue that week leading up to that event, and I had to put in some extra hours driving for Uber to run up some chili. So I ended up burnt out and I needed to get some rest. I told the bitch I had to cancel going to the Yard House and my bitch flipped out. I ended up hanging up on a bitch because she was arguing with me heavily. I cut my phone off and went to sleep. At about 2 o'clock in the morning, I was awoken by the windows in my living room being crashed out. I hit the floor, grabbed the blower, and peeped out the window, and my Latina bitch was out there with a bat, drunk as fuck with 2 of her homegirls. Drama, reader, listener, email. These is all drama. All drama. A nigga from Los Angeles writes to BossMack. He say, BossMack, I'm a 23-year-old nigga out here getting to the chili, working as a security guard and driving for Uber and Lyft. I'm lucky to have my own decent car and an apartment out here in this expensive ass atmosphere. Oh, and I am also enrolled at LA Trade Tech, learning how to repair HVAC systems. I have 2 bitches in rotation right now. My main bitch is away at college. She goes to Clark in Atlanta, and she's about to graduate. This has been my bitch since high school. And my number 2 bitch is a new bitch. A 22-year-old cashier at Ralph's. And she's a Latina. Now my problems is coming from my new bitch. She's been on the team for 6 or 7 months, and the pussy is fire. We have had our basic ups and downs, but the recent episode that just happened has me wondering if I need to dismiss a bitch. Now, like I said, this bitch is Latina. Is a Latina, and she be on some severe jealousy shit. At first, I thought it was cool because I'd never experienced this type of shit, but I should have recognized that as a red flag. Also, my bitch is easily influenced by her homegirls, and that is another red flag I should have respected. I can honestly say I let shit slide because this is the first Latina I ever had, and the pussy is so fire. Here is what has happened. Me and my Latina bitch was supposed to go to a gathering one of her homegirls was having at the Yard House in Long Beach on a Friday night. I had a lot of bullshit happen to me out the blue that week leading up to that event, and I had to put in some extra hours driving for Uber to run up some chili. So I ended up burnt out and I needed to get some rest. I told the bitch I had to cancel going to the Yard House, and my bitch flipped out. I ended up hanging up on a bitch because she was arguing with me heavily. I cut my phone off and went to sleep. At about 2 o'clock in the morning, I was awoken by the windows in my living room being crashed out. I hit the floor, grabbed the blower, and peeped out the window, and my Latina bitch was out there with a bat, drunk as fuck with 2 of her homegirls. I came outside, my neighbors was coming out, my bitch was cussing and talking about where is that bitch at? Tell her to come outside. Why wasn't you answering your phone? I know that bitch is in there. I told the bitch she was tripping. Bring your stupid ass in here and look around yourself. I been asleep, bitch. What the fuck? Then a bitch was like, fuck that. The bitch must have just left. Alejandra saw you and the bitch today after you hung up on me. The bitches came in my house and looked around, and the bitch broke down crying, begging for forgiveness. My neighbors was outside. My next door neighbor was like, bro, been here all night. His car's been parked right there. I ain't seen nobody come out of here. My bitch begged for forgiveness. And she had the windows repaired the next day. And the manager of my apartment complex, I was lucky I know him, but he still pressed the shit out of me about that drama unfolding. BossMack, what are your thoughts on this? I feel like I need to cut a bitch loose. But a bitch did break bread and pay for everything. Hit the like button. All right. Well, I'll say that the dick is probably amazing to a bitch. See, the dick is probably amazing to a bitch. I'm going to say that, you know. We have to, you know, we have to vet our bitches well, man, before you really, you a young motherfucker. You young. This a good learning thing for you. You know, before you really bless bitches with the high quality dick, man, you really gotta try to see what kind of bitch you dealing with, man. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's hard. You know what I'm saying? You like, this bitch look good. This is a bad bitch, Latina. You know, pretty feet, pretty hands, her hair, brown skin, just bad bitch is great. You know, fucking the shit out of her. You know what I'm saying? But we always have to evaluate the mental state of bitches. You know what I'm saying? And after an episode like that, a bitch jeopardized your living situation. You know what I'm saying? And see, it's difficult. Now, just imagine if you would have had a hostile apartment manager. You probably got to move. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if you're getting a deal on rent or, you know what I'm saying? It's very difficult to have an apartment. A bitch jeopardize your living situation. You know what I'm saying? And, based off homegirls, based off of what her homegirl said. You know what I'm saying? And, you if you pay attention to your bitch, like you said, you can see that her friends have a lot of influence. I don't like bitches like that. I don't like bitches that's influenced easily by their homegirls like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm always checking for that. I'm always checking for that. And then if jealousy is too much, man, sometimes, hey, man, we can't give a bitch a pass. You know what I'm saying? You know, like, you know, we can't. When a bitch jeopardize your living situation, you know, that's a major, you know what I'm saying? We can't, you know, we can't afford to get another apartment because of the bitch. We can't do it. We can't do it. I reserve the right to hang up on a bitch. I can hang up on a bitch and not be able. I can hang up on a bitch and cut off communication, and you know what I'm saying. I reserve the right to do that. And if it leads to property damage, then a bitch gotta go. I can't afford it. I can't afford to have to move. I cannot afford to have to move because a bitch lost her composure. You know what I'm saying? I can't do it. You know. Some bitches get off on seeing a dude pull bitches. Houston Buckley, yeah. And some bitches lose their mind when they think you fucking with another bitch. And some bitches lose their mind. You know what I'm saying? That's a cold part of the game. You know, bitches don't like you unless other bitches like you, right? That's a cold part of the game. Bitches don't like you unless other bitches like you. But if a bitch comes and destroys property because of some shit like that, a bitch gotta be banished. A bitch gotta be banished. And see, another thing too, man, alcohol, bitch, you know, alcohol play a part too, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and see, I imagine, you know, that bitches was, okay, and then let's look at the scenario. Y'all was supposed to pop out at the Yard House, right? The Yard House is a popping spot. Let's look at that, okay? You know, y'all was supposed to pop out, right? Now, when you pop out with your bitch at a spot like the Yard House, you know what I'm saying? You know, she want her bitches to see her nigga. You know, this is my nigga. You know what I'm saying? She want to rub it in bitches' faces. She got a hell of a nigga. You know what I'm saying? You know. Then you don't go, and then she got to see her friends with they niggas, right? So that's pissing a bitch. She mad because you didn't go. She mad because you didn't go. She didn't get to see you. Then her friends rub it in her face because they with they niggas. You know what I'm saying? Then they get drunk, right? And then one of the bitches say they saw you with a bitch. You know what I'm saying? So now we in a whole nother abstract dimension, and you ain't answering the phone. So we in a whole dimension. You know what I'm saying? And they get drunk, you know what I'm saying? And they form a plan. We gonna, you know, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, being a nigga that's on the edge, you know, it's difficult to survive in Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying? It's very expensive. A bitch threatened living situations, man. That's grounds for not. Hey, man, severe. Hey, I would tactfully start getting the bitch out the way. That's what I would do. Tactfully start getting the bitch out the way. Hit the like button. All right, man. Yeah, man. Once again, forgive the BossMack for being late to the party. The BossMack was late to the party today. You know what I mean? But